Hello investors, welcome to Simply Stocks. Just like sectors experience mega trends and bull runs, similarly from time to time, many sectors also go through phases of underperformance or downturn, and there is no fixed time limit for this underperformance. A sector can underperform for 1 year or even for the 5 to 10 years. So in today's video, we will look at three popular sectors and the businesses listed in them that are currently performing very poorly. Along with that, we will also try to understand whether there is any hope for recovery or not. But please note, this video is in no way a buy or sell recommendation. Please consider it as a sector overview only. With this, let's begin. The first sector we will look at is the most famous paint sector. If I had to describe the paint sector in one word, then the situation is here absolutely terrible. There is no growth at all. Even today, this sector is at the same place it was 2 years ago, meaning there has been zero growth over the past 2 years. Now, many people might casually say that it is because of Grasim or Birla Opus, but that's not the whole story. Yes, competition has increased because of its entry, but you can give only 10 to 20% blame to the competition. The main problem here is that there is no demand in the sector. You must have heard yourself that there has been a slowdown in consumption. In my previous video as well, I had explained how consumption slowdown in QSRs like Domino's and KFC has taken their growth away. So what has happened in the last 2 to 3 years is that people's incomes or salaries have not increased much, while inflation has been rising continuously. So people are cutting back on expensive spending items like paints, or in the industries where paints are used like automobiles, there is a slowdown there as well. Talking about the businesses now, Asian Paints is the largest player, followed by Balger, Kansai, Akzo, and Indigo as other important paint stocks. Sirca is in wood coatings. It's not really comparable, but I still included it here. Otherwise, many of you will show up in the comments saying, bro, you missed this stock. So you will see for almost all of them, either sales have declined or have increased just 2 to 3%. And let's be very clear, 2 to 3% is not really growth. Okay, for FY25, you will see sales have fallen compared to the last year, and even in Q4, that is the recent 3 months from January to March, sales have fallen. That means there is no recovery in sight, and sales have declined in two ways. I'll tell you. What happened was in FY24, that is last to last year, all paint businesses cut their prices and started offering more discounts. They thought since demand is not coming in, maybe we'll gain something through discounts. So they took a loss on gross margins, and because of that, sales went down. But even after that, volumes didn't increase. That means if you sold 100 liters of paint last year, this year you sold 103, 104 liters. That is just 3 to 4% growth. So even after cutting prices, no one sales grew. Otherwise, what does the usual logic say? Reduce prices and volume should increase. But that didn't happen because the demand is very weak. So here you will see almost everyone's EBITDA margins have declined. So that tells you how bad the situation is in the paint sector right now, be it market leader Asian Paints or Balger or Kansai. In fact, the worst hit is Asian Paints itself. Sales are down 5% from last year, and net profit has fallen straight 33% year on year. And when the market leader is in such a bad shape, what can we expect from the sector? Then you can keep saying it has a moat, it is fundamentally strong. What is the benefit of moat, you tell me, when the business has no growth? If you hold such a stock in your portfolio, you will see that portfolio is not going anywhere. If you yourself bought Asian Paints at 100 PE and instead of growth, the business is now showing degrowth, you tell me, what am I supposed to say there? And as for the future outlook, all companies are in very bad condition. Everyone is saying that competition will remain. So there is pressure from that side. Like Birla Opus is now offering 10 to 12% discounts. Besides that, all companies are focusing more on cutting marketing, transportation, and other costs just to maintain margins. There is no conversation around demand recovery or sales growth. And yes, Sirca is also nothing special. Okay, don't get too happy by seeing this 20% sales growth. Margins have taken a hit here too because of competition. That's why you will see profits are down and valuation is also high. Now see, these issues with the paint sector, they didn't just show up overnight. Okay, for the past 2 years, let me tell you, 2 years, managements of all these companies have been shouting again and again that there is a slowdown in the demand. And because of Birla Opus, we are also being forced to offer discounts. But what do retail investors do? They don't track the business. They will see the stock is down 20% from its high and they will just buy it. Or someone will come and say a few nice things about fundamentals or the brand name and the stock is trading at discount, they'll buy it. They don't check that the company's results are actually poor. Then that stock drops another 30%. It corrects 50%. Then they will average it down and then they will get stuck in that business with the losses for 3 to 4 years. That's why I keep saying if you are a serious investor or if your portfolio is big in size, you need to track your portfolio stocks. Is there something wrong with the company? Or if the results are good, should you consider buying more? But there are so many companies listed in the market, almost 5,000. So it becomes difficult for a retail investor to track all of them. That's why we have created a personal WhatsApp community for serious investors where we closely track more than 100 good quality stocks. We cover their business models, valuation, risk factors, how their results have been, everything in detail. Here, I also share my portfolio and I am there to clear all your doubts on one-to-one level. But yes, we do not give any buy-sell calls on any stock. We are not SEBI registered. If you are interested, then you can send me a WhatsApp message on this number. Otherwise, we have also given a link in the description. You can message us using that link. But remember, this is a paid community with a monthly fee of just 850 rupees. Meaning for just 850 rupees per month, you are getting to know about so many good quality stocks. And yes, there are two plans, 6,000 rupees for 6 months and 10,000 for a full year. In 6-month plan, your per month cost will be just 1,000 rupees per month, and in the annual plan it will be just even lower, just 850 rupees. So if you are interested, you can contact us using the link below and you can join this community. The next sector we will study is footwear, which includes businesses like Metro Brands, Relaxo, Bata and Campus. This sector is also performing very poorly. What happened with the footwear sector is that FY22 and FY23 both were very good years for the businesses, because in FY21 COVID had hit. People were not stepping out, no trips, no office. So FY21 was completely wasted. Then in FY22 and FY23, sales shot up very fast. You can call it pent-up demand or revenge shopping. But after that, a slowdown has hit the sector, which means where companies were growing so fast earlier, now there is hardly any growth. For example, Metro Brands was growing at around 60% for 2 years. And now look, it is not even growing at 10%. And Relaxo, it never ever even recovered after COVID. This business used to grow at 20% rate from 2014-15 to 2020. But now you will see in FY25, sales have actually declined by 5%. What could be worse than that? People bought Relaxo's stock at PE multiples of 100. And now in just 1 year, Relaxo has caused heavy losses for those investors. Even now, I keep saying this stock is still overvalued. It is trading at a PE of 60. But what? No one listens. They will say that, oh, it is down 50%. It is trading at a discount and they'll just buy it. That's not how investing works. Look at this table. I made it for you. You will see Metro sales have slowed down. In FY24, sales grew just 10% and in FY25, the growth rate dropped further to just 6%. In Bata, there is no growth at all. They keep trying multiple things to improve margins, like focusing on sportswear segment and Hush Puppies brand. So there is some profit growth, but it is not something very exciting. Then there is Relaxo, the worst business among them. Honestly, a bank FD is better than Relaxo, I think. In fact, not just Relaxo. Right now, the entire footwear sector is worse than a bank FD. Seriously, look at the sales growth here. This is even less what a bank FD can give you. Campus is not a very high growth business. Its sales declined in FY24. In FY25, they grew 10%. With Campus, it keeps fluctuating like that, staying in that range. Then there is Red Tape. It used to grow at 20-25% earlier, but now even its performance has gone down. And their management neither does conference calls nor releases investor presentations. So it's very hard to tell where the business is heading. Actually, Red Tape also used to be part of my portfolio, but once the growth disappeared, I had to remove it from my portfolio. Then you have Liberty and Khadin. These were never good businesses to begin with. So overall, management of almost every company is saying the same thing. There is no demand in the sector. And in my opinion, even if these businesses do get 10 to 15% sales growth, it still won't make much difference. I mean, just look at it. Campus, Relaxo, Bata, Metro, all are trading at P multiples of 60 to 80. That is very high valuation. On the other hand, right now, the market has so many better opportunities. Companies with 20% plus sales growth are selling at 20 to 30 PE. So naturally, all the capital, all investors will move towards those opportunities. Now, the third and last sector is railways. Now, investors in the railways sector have been victims of a bubble, but here we will focus only on fundamentals. So you can see on my screen the railways budget allocation, meaning how much government has spent every year on railways. You will notice that in FY23, railway allocation increased. Then from FY23 to FY24, there was a huge jump. The allocation went up by 66% in just 1 year. But in the last 3 years, the allocation has remained largely the same, meaning the government spent the same amount this year as it did last year on railways. So that number is not increasing. The same trend is visible in IRFC's business too. I'll explain its business in simple words. So IRFC raises money from market on behalf of the Railways Ministry, then uses that money to buy rail engines, coaches and wagons, and then leases them out to Indian Railways. Now, if you look here, for the last 3 years, IRFC has not raised any money from the market. And during the same period, new loans have been declining. In FY24, IRFC did only a small amount of lending compared to previous years. Then in FY25, that is last year, nothing at all. And here you will see for FY26, it is written here that the Railways Ministry has not given any target yet, which means just like in FY25, this year too, Railways Ministry may not be seeking any fresh funding from IRFC. So we can say that IRFC's business has stopped growing. Nothing is happening over there right now. And you can track this independently too, because whenever ministry tells IRFC to expand its loan book, this will be a cue for companies that make engines, coaches and wagons, because then eventually orders will flow to them. But as of now, nothing is happening. Anyway, apart from IRFC, if we look at other railway stocks, this slowdown is visible everywhere. Jupiter Wagons, Texmaco and Titagarh. You will see how good their sales growth was in FY24. That is last to last year. Titagarh grew about 40% and Texmaco's and Jupiter sales increased around 55 to 75%. But now if you see in FY25, Jupiter and Titagarh have no growth at all, and Texmaco sales growth has dropped to half. For Ircon, Rides and RVNL, their sales have actually declined, meaning these companies have actually completed fewer orders this year than they did last year. And IRCT's growth comes from passengers volumes. So that is a slow growing business. So no comments over there. Beyond that, you will notice order books of almost all the companies have contracted in size, meaning in FY25, these companies have not received much new orders from the railways. As a result, even this year, sales growth might not be that exciting. Rides has shown good rise in its order book, which is up 56%, and they are now targeting 20% sales growth. But the issue here is that most of their future orders are low in margins. So margin pressure will remain. But overall, I think even after so much correction, all these stocks are still trading at very high PE multiples. So you have to keep that in mind, because even if there is some recovery, these businesses will still be very risky. Now you tell me in the comments, which of these stocks do you hold in your portfolio? And yes, it took us a lot of effort to create this video. So do give us a thumbs up. Also, you can subscribe to our channel Simply Stocks, where we bring multiple such videos every week. Your likes and subscribes are our only motivation so that we can keep bringing you such high quality research for free. So don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel. I'll see you in the next video. Happy investing.